think more people using subscriptions is the right way to go. If I'm sure some of the users here are not going to love this because paying monthly is never fun, but it just makes more business sense. If you're running, I've been a huge proponent of subscriptions really the longest time. When I started subscriptions back in 2009, people were like, no one's going to pay you. Developers are never going to pay you monthly. Like, well, we'll see. I'm here. So there's definitely a lot to it, a lot more than just the monthly payments, because it comes with value.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is the longevity. And that's where you sell it to a customer. It's basically like, do you want me to be here in 5 years? Because you've seen plenty of apps come and go that looked awesome because they only charge you $10 up front, or even $30 or $40 up front, but then they never ask you for money again. Yep. And as far as I'm concerned, the whole upgrading path thing, like, that ship has sailed. Apple's not going to do that. Like, subscription is their answer to that. So yeah, exactly. It's like, do you want to be in business 5 years from now or not, is basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think one of the things that are kind of key to this entire iOS 15 WWDC, this entire year, to me, was they're giving all the options. They're putting all the options out there for developers to decide, do we want to scam or do we want to be good developers, good business owners, and build something sustainable? So just like what we're talking about, StoreKit and making refunds more convoluted, a real business cannot be built on just the sense that people can't get their money back, so abuse them. It shouldn't be built that way. Those businesses should fail.
One thing those people should be happy about is, like, for instance, like managing subscriptions, they also gave us the ability to just press a button in your app that would bring up the manage your own personal subscription rather than having to send them out to the settings app.
Yep.
And the cool thing about that is, because in the old days, the current state of affairs, when you do that, you bounce out to the entire subscriptions page. And now you see all your subscriptions and be like, oh my God, I'm still subscribed to that. Cancel. So Apple probably figured out, like, oh, wait a second, let's just show them your app, which they clearly want to manage. And so, like, within your own app, your panel will show up with just your current subscriptions and your auto renew settings and stuff. And it won't necessarily affect other developers who, happen to be subscribed to. It won't give them another moment of pause. So that's actually a good thing there too. And again, very, very pragmatic for Apple. They probably were fully aware of how many people went over to that page and canceled more than one subscription while they were there.
It's also a little bit more overwhelming. I wanted to upgrade a subscription that I had for my Notes app from Bear from a monthly to a yearly, because I just use it all the time. It doesn't make any sense now. And I want to pay them more. I think that subscription is way too low. If you're in the crowd, Bear, please increase your subscription. I remember when people used to say that to me years ago, and I was like, these people are crazy. Nope. Not crazy, but it bounced me out of the app, which took me by surprise. Even though I know how this works, it still took me by surprise, and I had to click around and figure out what's going on. And then there are a few more messages. Like, if you streamline this whole thing, I would have upgraded much more easily. I still upgraded, but it's one of those things where you want less decisions, less on the screen, just focus, and that works.
It's an old relic of the iOS, like, one, or when it was still iPhone OS. The original design and the idea that Apple had was that all settings for all apps would live in the settings app, and people would just learn to go there, and they didn't want to have a settings panel in your app at all. And so I remember them officially discouraging that, even in the App Store guidelines early on, like, oh, put all of your settings in it. And then they're like, okay, put them over there, but, like, we'll give you a link to go there. And it's like, they kept fighting it. And I think Apple finally realizes that people expect to find settings for an app inside that app. Like, they don't want to be bounced to somewhere else. And so, they're finally coming around to that point of view, but it took them a long time to get there.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to StoreKit. There's a lot to subscriptions, and there's a lot to what you can now do. I think we can probably have 2-3 more webinars just on that alone.